Everyone.
Hi,
It's Erlinda Vo, the Energy Alchemist, and I'm here with.
hi, I'm James Van Hofwegen. I help people fulfill their dreams through real estate.
We'll introduce ourselves again. So let me just do some
Yeah.
logistics as we're waiting for some people to show up. I know we didn't come on last week, so I hope people remember we're still here and we're still doing this. Otherwise, James, you and I will just have to hit it out of the ballpark for ourselves.
I mean, hey, we got to do what we got to do. If people
Totally.
aren't if people aren't coming along, then we're still going.
Yeah, we are. We are. We're taking it to the next level. So I just want to, while we're waiting for people, just give a couple logistic stuff. Don't forget to like our fan page, Erlinda Vo. That's where we go live weekly, which, by the way, we might be changing the time and date for book club, but we'll come up with that a little bit later. Also, join our Get Rich Book Club group on Facebook. We're a small but mighty group, and it's just going to keep getting better and better. Exactly. And you can see James's muscles. And, if you want to become a part of the Money Mantras, just check our text GRBC to 33222 for our Money Mantra texting system. So, yes, of course, we're going to wait just a minute. But why don't you and I just chat for a minute, James, while we're waiting for people? Do you remember why we started book club?
There are so many reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Are you asking me the specific intention of the Get Rich Book Club?
Well, you can share that, or just anything you want to share. We're about to hit our second to last chapter, and I think we should just have a little dialogue here while we're waiting for people, and then just go ahead and get just right in. And this is funny because this is going to go right into what we were going to talk about today, which is completion and how people get wacky about completion. So I can tell by the amount of viewers we have that people are resisting completion already. So just why are you doing this with me? Why are we doing this?
Well, part of it's because I'm crazy. No, over the last, I would say, what is it now? It's mid-May 2018. Since about the end of 2016, beginning of 2017, so over the last year and a half, I've really started to take on my life and the various aspects of it in ways that I've just never taken care of before, right? So, you and I have done some things throughout our lives, over the last decade or so, to address certain aspects and conditions of our lives that are important, right? But what I've found is that it's easy to focus on them for a very short period of time and then forget it. Yeah. And what I found is that doesn't work. So I started to really dig in to areas of my life that are very important and important to me, and areas that I really am up to transforming. The first one I decided to address was money, because it is such an important aspect of our lives. It touches everything, right? And I went from a traditional work environment where I was dependent on an employer to provide me a constant paycheck every 2 weeks or what have you, to one where I was entirely responsible for generating my own income. So I really wanted to address, hey, I've got a relationship to money, and is my relationship to money sufficient to provide a sustainable life, like at the basic fundamental level? So I started addressing it that way. And what I found was there was this whole world that opened up out of it. I actually started with this book, the book that we're about to complete next weekend. You're a Badass. I know. You're a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. And then I just, every aspect of the book just lit me up. And I wanted to dig into it more and more and more. And as I did, I started to share and write and share with other people. And on the other side of it now, life is really, like I have an entirely different experience of life.
Mm. Well, I want to point out one thing that you said, and it's before we kind of do our introductions and things like that. I want to just highlight what you said. It's like we would start something, right? Because yeah, we've been in all kinds of stuff together, James. We would start something, right, to go like be and create some desire or some ambition in a certain area. But what you talked about is the longevity. How long can you maintain that conversation? And if you think about it, we are maintaining this conversation for over 12 weeks, by 13 or 14 weeks. It is hard. I mean, think about how many people are on watching us live right now versus when we started. People do not, one, like to complete things. Two, it takes something to have a conversation and keep it over a long period of time, especially as you're starting to build the muscle. So first of all, thank you so much for joining us. We're so grateful that you're here. I'm Erlinda Vo, the Energy Alchemist, and I'm here with James.
Hi, I'm James Van Hofwegen. I'll just quickly reintroduce myself. I'm a realtor here in Chicago, and I help people fulfill their dreams through real estate.
Great. We are here, and we only have 2 chapters left. So this one and next week. This is like a huge deal. And I was just asking James like why he decided to do, Get Rich Book Club. And he was just sharing a little bit. But one of the things he was talking about was like, we've started different goals before together, like whether it was a health goal or money goal or whatever. We started many things together. Hi, Rebecca. We started many things together, and the thing about those kind of things, if you don't already have the habits, is keeping that possibility or that goal, that aim in front of you consistently for a long period of time. So right now we're at about 13 weeks of keeping this conversation alive, something like that. And what I mean by keeping this conversation alive is us being a badass at making money, right? Having a money mindset that's workable for what we desire. So I want to just recap from 2 weeks ago so we can kind of get us back into the world of it. And then we're just going to dive right in because we have so much good content. This chapter, holy moly, like this chapter kind of knocked me out, literally, in so many ways. So let's just dive right into it. So from 2 weeks ago, I want to remind you that your job is to short circuit your instinct to react, thus playing out the same tired, old, low frequency patterns you've been lugging around your whole life. You are a valuable and irreplaceable asset to the universe. You are mighty beyond comprehension. You are a badass. Remember that money is currency, and currency is energy. When your energy is vibrating at the highest frequency possible, like love, you are like a tornado of awesomeness. And also, quick reminder that essential oils are, besides gratitude, is one of the fastest ways to increase your frequency. So if you're feeling like a low vibe or you're not feeling motivated or excited or anything like that, put some essential oils on it. It'll help change your frequency so that you can increase your frequency, because that's what we're doing here is we're in the spiritual gym. We're in the mindset gym, practicing weekly so that we can actually expand our consciousness, increase our frequency, and achieve what we desire to achieve. So that was the recap. Oh, one more thing that was very important that I almost skipped was self-love means doing things that make you feel good. Become more aware of what makes you feel good and go do that. That's like huge. Like, it's so funny because we tend to get self-love complicated. Like, oh my God, and it was so great. I just went to this event and they were talking about maintenance versus self-love. So like, for example, working out is kind of like a maintenance phenomenon. Like it's something to maintain the health of your body, but what do you do for self-love? Like, what do you do that makes you feel good? Like, is it meditating? Is it riding your bike? Is it walking? Is it like, it's like listening to your soul and your spirit and doing what makes your soul and spirit feel good. So I just wanted to throw that in there too. So really it's about doing what feels good and going after that. So why don't we get started with this chapter, James? Do you want to tell us what the chapter is?
Yeah, I do. And as you say that, I'm like,
It's on the really agenda too, but it's okay.
Yeah, I know. I like to. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Tenacity. Ooh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it takes some tenacity to do this week in and week out. You know, like really. I think this is the longest standing personal project.
I thought you were going to say personal relationship.
Definitely not.
Come on, James.
What? It's not. I'm saying.
I'm your most consistent relationship project person, right?
You're definitely up there.
All right, continue. Yes, it does. It takes some tenacity to do this.
And for the people who have been with us week in and week out, and even if you've missed an episode here or there, or missed a Sunday or whatever, right? If you've gotten to chapter 12, give yourself a pat on the back. Like really acknowledge yourself for it, because it takes this. You guys, this book, I've been through it, I think like 12 times. And I still, I couldn't tell you what chapter 12 is called, but so what? It's this book, if you really take it on, the exercise and everything, it'll send you through the ringer. Erlinda and I have been through the ringer, and we're still here. It takes some tenacity. So anyway, the beginning of the chapter starts with the intro. It introduces the story of a woman who started her own investment company, right? An investment management company, excuse me. And it was a rough start for her, but there were some really key reasons why she made it. The first reason was she stuck to her why, right? If you go back a few chapters, we all identified a why. Why do we do what we do? What really propels us? What's our empowering context, right? And her why is that she wanted to provide for her family. She wanted to be able to do the things that she wanted to do with her family. And she also didn't want to lose her life savings. She took her life savings. She started an investment management company. It's a pretty big risk, right? Another thing that really led to her success and why she made it is that she went to the spiritual gym. And that's what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. Okay, the weekly mindset, the spiritual gym to build the muscles, right? Erlinda always does this. There you go. The weekly mindset and the spiritual gym to build the muscles to achieving what we desire. She read things that motivated her to persevere. This is a big thing, and I actually had a conversation a little earlier about this. And again, going back a couple chapters, we got to fill our minds with what's aligned with our desires, right? And then we got to watch what we send out of our mouths. And then as we start to refine what comes out of our mouths, we got to start to refine what gets sent out from our brain to our mouths, right? And once we get this working, right, it all matters, you guys. It all matters. Go to the spiritual gym, right? She was doing that. She was reading the things that motivated her to persevere. She would visualize and she would look at images of other successful women. She also meditated, which is another consistent theme in this book, and other, teachings or
modalities and teachings.
Modalities, thank you. Meditation is a huge, huge thing. And if you fall off, it's okay. Get back on the meditation horse. Because it has a profound effect. She reminded herself that uncertainty is a part of the process. Right. We've all had some rather uncertain times over the last 13 weeks so far. Plus, 13 weeks plus. Right? Another key thing was that she eliminated a lot of drama. I have a key phrase that I like to use, and it's save that drama for your mama.
That was not approved on this agenda, James.
It's okay. I also saw something brilliant hanging in someone's office. It was another real estate broker. It was she had this card or something. It was the no drama llama, and yeah, it was a llama that had like sunglasses, and it was just like, and I think it had a scarf or something. And it was just like drama free, like no drama llama. Anyway,
Yeah.
she eliminated
Why
drama.
do you think, let's just dissect that for a second, like that matters, right? Because you were just talking about like clearing your mind, right? We want to meditate. So let's say you do all this meditation, you start to clear your mind, you start to visualize who you want to be and what your desiring is, and then you start to speak it into existence and it starts to come alive. Then the drama, right? Like if you're filled with drama or people who are drama around you, then all of a sudden there's drama and your focus, hi Alexa, welcome. Then your focus is all about the drama.
Right.
And then you start visualizing drama because you're thinking about drama, you're talking about drama, and it's all around you. And then it starts to divert your attention from what you really desire. So yes, eliminated drama.
Yeah, because law of attraction, you attract, right? You put yourself on the frequency of drama, and guess what you're going to get?
Drama!
You get other drama. So you eliminate the drama, you focus on your desire, and chances are you're gonna find yourself in tune with your desire, and it'll probably show up. Yeah. So she also did her homework, right? As a professional, she did her homework, which, come on, right? Do your homework. Now I sound like a teacher. I'll knock it off.
Well, you're pointing to something very important, though you are being a little like, do your homework. Like, no, but why does it freaking matter? I mean, if you're going to kind of do this book, you should do this book. And part of that is doing the homework. Like Jensen Terrell gives us these different avenues to have access to things, right? And if you do them, literally, like, it's funny, James, because, you know, our team, we did kind of a little bit of a completion, right? Where we kind of looked at what we did, what we didn't do, what we wish we would have done better. Like we did this whole little conversation last week, even though we had 2 more chapters, because, you know, you and I both know that as we go to the last chapter, people get wacky about completion. It's just natural, right? And we were talking about the people who actually did their homework, the kinds of results they had versus the people who kind of had judgments about the books or just, you know, kind of didn't do the homework or did it halfway through. Like, you know, the difference that it really does make. And the good thing about this Get Rich Book Club is these videos are going to be available so that you can go back and really like pull the conversation towards you, because, you know, not only do you need to do the homework for your own business, and, you know, that's what she was talking about. She did her research into her own business and what she was doing, but do your research into your money conversations, you guys. Like, literally, you can read this book so many times and see new conversations that you've never seen before, right? And so doing your homework is what is the gym. It's what's going to build that money mindset and the spirituality aspect of what we're creating and building here as a community. Yeah.
I was going to say something else about that, but we got to keep it moving. Yeah, I'm going to say it anyway.
Well, I was like, so when do you care about my timeline that I throw together?
I know. So I was contemplating doing this. I thought I wasn't going to, and now I'm going to. So remember a couple weeks ago when you said you gave us a bonus homework assignment of carry a $100 bill in your wallet and leave it there? And I think I shared about this earlier in a previous week, right? So I keep this. This is the $100 bill that's in my wallet, and then I've got like all this other money to go along with it.
Yes.
And in addition to, I've got other $100 bills around the house, and it's like I've got coin. I've got little jars with coins in them. The ashtray in my car is filled with coins, and I've got like other like dollar bills in other compartments in my. There you go.
You have
Look
like
at that.
pretty money.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's foreign money.
So yeah, when I went to Prague too, I just kept one. I was like, oh, I just want to keep it. It's not very much, but it's pretty, and it's like it reminds me that it's paper. This is paper, right. Even though it has a currency to it, but it's actually paper. That's what it is.
Yeah, and like I have gotten to the point where physically money is all around me all the time.
Yes,
it is like I have gone from being someone who has like money is wow. I'll take some of that. I went from being someone who was like very much all right, put it in the bank, keep it safe, keep it away, keep it hidden, like money people shouldn't see it. It's
yes.
To now it's like no. You guys, look, no. Around me, money is around me all the time. All the time. It's around me all the time. And the best part about it, you guys, I'm going to give you a bonus thing right now. If you carry cash, right, take whatever singles you have, any like $1 bills, right, and then the next highest denomination, right? So for me, that's a 5, right? So I'll take the 5 and the singles and take this and put it in like a compartment in your car, like the center console or wherever is handy. And then when you get to a stop sign, and if there is someone out there who is asking for money, take a $1 bill out, give them that $1 bill. That's what I do with the money in my car. Now I do that because for a couple of reasons. One, that person is asking for money, right? So they are actually out there. They're saying, "Hey, money, I'm here. Come to me." So okay, great. Money flows through me at a high enough velocity where I can give that person a $1 bill. I could give them $2. I could give them a 5, right? But money flows through me all the time, and it's always flowing through me.
It's good.
So, so you guys take that on, right? As a practice, it'll adjust your mojo. It'll adjust your frequency.
Yeah, and you're pointing to that, there's the flow, there's the ebb and the flow. And if you are like holding on to money, it cannot flow to you or from you. And right. So, you should do what speaks to you. And you're kind of talking into there's some thoughts about tithing, right? Where you give 10% to, some people do it to a church. Some people do it to whatever. Like, I'm a big advocate of doing it to something that contributes to your soul. So if there's something that you like watching or something that, like we were talking about the spiritual gym, right? Like if there's a place that you go to that feeds your soul, contribute money back to that, right? Yeah. But really you're pointing to something very important because it's all about the flow of money. And if you're like, oh my God, I don't even have enough for myself and blah, 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 I promise you won't ever have enough if you're holding on to it this tightly, and, James, I think that's really important because how many times do you say, oh, money come to me? I mean, we probably haven't said that since chapter 2 or whenever that chapter was. But right. Like when you just said that, I was like, oh, wait a minute, money comes to me. Like, okay, wait a minute here, right? And I want you to, so it's perfect. It's perfect, you guys. So really, if you have some money, go contribute it. Go give it to, donate it. Go, make something useful for it, but have it flow. And it's so funny because a little secret, you guys, I did not want to get on here and do this call. I was dealing with the completionitis too. I was like, I don't want to finish. I don't want to do this. And like, I was like, James, I'm going to be late. I'm this. I didn't, there's all this stuff coming up. I'm just giving you a little insight into my brain for a moment. But when I just held that money that I have in my wallet, literally my energy changed. So when you have money around you and you see it and it's like, I know I can go, and there's not anything that I can't afford because I really do have the money. It's just, where do I want to allocate those resources? And am I like, oh my God, I'm not going to get the next money coming in. Am I holding it or am I contributing it out? Right? Like today, I just got in from Washington, DC. And there was one guy who took my luggage and he carried it up, but it was like, it was those guys that bring it up to the the thing. And I was like, I had $2 and I had a $5. And I was like, oh man, I don't know, but I just gave him the $5 because I have enough. And this guy, you know, I didn't want to carry my bags up the stairs. Like, he carried it for me. It just, you guys, it changes your mindset. And that's what James is pointing to. So the bonus assignment he's giving you in the middle of our agenda is to give some money away. Not only carry that $50, that $100 in your wallet and have it be around you. You feel the energy. It's different. When I know, just so y'all know, I can go in and buy a Louis Vuitton if I want to, or this or that. Like, I know I can. Do I want to? No, not necessarily. But the experience is different when you walk around and you know you can do stuff, okay? So she did her homework, you guys. That's what this woman did. She did her homework. And so James gave you a bonus assignment. So give some money away. Have it flow.
Yeah. So so to get back on track, sorry for the derivation there, but specific to this woman in the intro to the chapter, right? She started her own investment management company. So she had to be on her game, right? As a professional, as providing a service for people, she had to know what she was doing. So she did a ton of research. She studied the industry. She studied her ideal clientele. This is critical, right? I'm a realtor, okay? I also had this conversation earlier. And to pull back the curtain a little bit, to steal it from someone else, that saying, pull back the curtain, but to show you guys some of the behind the scenes stuff, right? As a realtor, sometimes you have to be willing to not accept certain clientele. Okay?
Declining.
Yeah, sometimes you have to decline your offer to certain customers who will deplete your resources unnecessarily. Keyword
Amen.
Unnecessarily. Yeah.
As Angela said earlier, amen. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to say no. Anybody else have that issue? Especially if you're a realtor and you're like kind of having to create your own money. It's like so hard to say no because you're thinking like, oh my God, what if this is the only one? Right? Yeah. But sometimes they deplete your resources unnecessarily.
Yeah. And look, as a realtor, the best thing you can do is when you identify clientele like that, refer that client to another realtor who is clamoring, right, to have that opportunity. Yeah. Great. They'll go and they will either be successful or unsuccessful. And when they're successful, you will receive a referral bonus or a referral fee for that, for referring that service out. Now, so anyway, I say that as a long way to say, study your clientele, especially if you are, even if you're at your job, right? Your client is your company. So if you're not serving your client, you're not providing the value, right? So what she did was she studied her ideal clientele, the clientele that she was going to benefit most from, and she found creative ways to sell her services to them by finding common ground between them and herself, right? So people come together for I just got tongue-tied. People come together for mutual financial benefit, right? That's when the exchange of currency happens, the exchange of energy happens, right? Mutual financial benefit. The other big thing she did was she got a mentor. Okay, so I don't have a mentor. It's something that I'm considering doing though. So she got a mentor, and her mentor.
You kind of do have a little bit of a mentor, sort of. Not one live that you're talking to, but you've kind of taken this book as kind of a guiding post for you.
Absolutely.
Right? And you're living the distinctions, and we're in conversation about it. It's not like you're in your head talking to yourself. We're in dialogue about it. You know, we're just using Jensen Cheryl as kind of a mentor guiding us a little bit, right? And whoever we take on as our next book is kind of like a mentor. We're using their knowledge and using their resources to elevate ourselves. But yeah, absolutely. So, you know, sometimes going out there and getting actual live mentor is phenomenal. I've done both. I've done mentors, right, and coaches, and I've done all that stuff. But really, like, you are doing something, and what we're doing here is bringing this mentorship. I mean, she wrote the book. It is a mentorship book. It's totally designed as a blueprint for mentorship, right? So don't, you know, you guys don't have to go spend a lot of money for this. We're doing this weekly for free. We're here at the Mindset Gym and at the Spiritual Gym studying this mentor, Jen Sincero.
We're doing it for free for now.
For now, as James said, my financial person that I didn't know went to school for finances. All right, I'm going to keep going, okay?
Go real quick, though. Going back to the mentor thing, right? The mentor actually told her, look, if people are going to fire you, let them fire you. Let them fire you. But never fire yourself. Never fire yourself, you guys. Most of it is just showing up. Never give up. Always persist. Always, always, always persist, persist, persist.
Great.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay, you guys, here's the next little thingamajigger. Okay, keep an eye out for the rallying cry to give up. To give up. Oh my God, I'm so funny. I was creating this agenda, and this is what I've been dealing with. It's so funny. To retreat. To realize that you've arrived at the magical door to the other side. So when you arrive at this door, don't climb back into bed and hide under the covers. Kick the door down and break through to the other side. Okay, you guys, seriously, this is easier said than done. Okay, and I don't know about you guys, but you know, we've done a big feat here. We've done 13 weeks of really causing and studying this book, and some of you guys have told me you're at that magical door where things are about to explode, or they have exploded and they're starting to get to the next level, and all you're doing is like, oh, I'm gonna crawl back into bed, I'm not ready, I don't know, hide under the covers, right? This is not the time to do that. So if you have done that, no one shall be named here, but if you have done that, it's time to just recognize that you've done it and like kick the door in, get up from under the bed, under the covers, break it down, okay? You have to be willing to be unpopular. No one wants to be unpopular, right? You want to be unpopular, and you want to stand for your right to be successful and to be rich. And sometimes that means being unpopular. Okay, so there's a lot coming up in this last two just things right now, you guys. We're talking about the desire to give up or retreat, right? And that's usually when you should push forward, okay? So you want to also, you know, that's the time when people start telling you things like, why are you still doing this, or blah, 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 like all those naysayers, as they call them.
Naysayers. Okay,
naysayers. Oh, what is it? Well, you know what I mean. Okay. When you start to change who you're being, you will upset people and you might lose some friends. God, man, I just really gave myself all the intense ones, huh? Yeah, okay. Wow. Vibe up or vibe out. As you guys know, that's kind of like my hashtag vibe up or vibe out. Really, you know, as you start to change who you are and the frequency that you are to reach your next level of success, or your desires to be rich, right, or successful, people around you might not like it. And it's okay. You can be unpopular, you know, because at some point this is your life and you have to have the courage to stay the course.
Yeah, real quick. You guys, you want to pay particular attention to this, right? Especially as you start to realize the outcomes of your desires. Your friends and your family and the people closest to you will not, right? So they have a particular way of relating to you. And once they start to witness a change in your life, yeah, they will be confronted by having to change their perception of you. Mm. And sometimes it's unpleasant. People have an unpleasant experience sometimes when they have to change something, when they're forced to alter their perception about something. especially as we get older, right? So I won't even dive into neuroplasticity, but be cognizant of this, be aware of it, understand that not everybody is going to readily accept the shifts that they see in your life. And that's okay. Love them anyway, but know that you may have to love them from a distance instead of loving them so closely.
Well said, well said. And that kind of goes to, James and I were talking earlier about health and things like that. And when you start to, he's my partner in this Get Rich Book Club, right? And he's starting to take on his health to the next level. And he's so filled with energy and things like that. And it's like, I got uncomfortable. And I was like, because I knew that means it's time for me to step up my game, right? Because him and I are in this conversation, in this clearing, right, together. And we're causing our own mentors, we're causing conversations, we're in the gym weekly for our spirituality and our mindset here, right? And this is my life. And I have to stay the courage because he is the person right now who is vibing up with me, right? We're vibing up together. We have common ground and commitment to vibe up, to be rich, to be successful, right? And so this is the opportunity. Now, this is my opportunity where I get to, and I'm just talking about health right now because we were talking about it earlier, but in every area, you get an opportunity to vibe up and take your success and take your goals to the next level or vibe out. And James will be fine if I don't play the game. He'll be fine. He'll still love me because we're going to have this conversation, right? But that's an opportunity. Now, in the moment, did I see it as an opportunity? No. I was like, oh no, it means I'm going to have to take out my life. It doesn't mean any of that, but because we're in this dialogue together, it's important that I have that be something that matters to me too, because it's being able to take our vibe up to the next level. And if I really want to be successful financially and in different things, we have to take our games to the next level, whether it's our environment of our homes, our environment of our bodies, all of that, right? And one thing I want to remind you here is that you want to ignore the tricksters and the temptations. So what are the tricksters? They are custom made by your little prince just for you. If you remember, I don't remember what chapter it was, but chapter 2 maybe, we're talking about the little prince as the ego, right? These are custom made excuses and reasons. They are juicy temptations designed just for you to knock you off track and back you into your comfort zone. Okay, so you want to start to listen and look and see what are some of your tricksters. My trickster is a very, very elaborate one. I get sick. So I think it was, 3 weeks ago or maybe a month ago now, after one of our book clubs, my lips swelled so big. I ended up going to the emergency room. I had an allergy, okay? But that's part of my little trickster. It's custom made to get me to back off. It's like, don't do book club. You don't need it anymore. You're fine. Look at what it does to you. You get all allergies, whatever the mind does to get you back into your comfort zone, okay? So just let those little tricksters pass you by. Stick to your guns and accept nothing less than exactly what you desire. God, nothing less than exactly what you desire. Wow.
Yeah. Exactly what you desire.
Exactly.
Not almost, not 80% there, not 95.6%. Exactly.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's talk a bit about completion and how people resist completion. How's that? I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see the viewer number just plummet.
Yeah, it did.
Completion. All right, bye.
See you later. Peace out. I'm done.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about completion and how people resist it, and let's also give some suggestions about how to complete powerfully.
Yeah.
There's a difference, you guys. Yeah.
Go ahead.
There's a difference between just ending something and really getting it complete, nothing left on the table, everything's, where it should be, and now we're ready and prepared to move to whatever's next. Okay, that's what we mean when we say completion. It's complete, there's nothing else. Everything has been said or expressed, and That's it.
Yeah. Why completion is so important, you guys, is because like there's so many beginnings and endings that happen automatically, right? We're going to finish the next chapter. It's going to be done. We're going to be done talking about it for this book. We're going to take a break and then we're going to start back up again, right? But think about it. We had 2-week break just now and momentum's already down. Viewers are already down. It's because people have a hard time going to that gym week in and week out. If they miss a week, it's like, oh, it's all over again. So things begin and end all the time, but are you complete about it? Can you fully say, you know what, I played the best I could, or you know what, I didn't play the best I could. In fact, I did the opposite of that. And just being able to communicate it and either write it down like what you did and didn't do, or, you know, it's just the important piece is that what happens is when you can get complete about something, it restores like the foundation, right? So when you just let something end, like, okay, we're done without being complete about it, then there's always this like open door there. Like, oh my God, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have went through all the chapters. I wish I did all, like whatever, all of that kind of regret and things that come up as you are ending something. Right? So we want to make sure that you are complete about this Get Rich Book Club, like what you did and didn't do, right? And what you did good and what you did bad, or whatever it is for you. Anything else you want to say about that?
Yeah, so some suggestions that we have about completing powerfully, write down what you did and didn't do. Like, write it out. Yeah. Really, take the time, write it out. Yeah. Just like you did with all your homework assignments. Right? But write it out and acknowledge that whatever you did and whatever you didn't do is exactly perfect. And you are exactly where you need to be. You guys, like I said before, this book was intense.
Yes.
And so, you know, don't beat yourself up if you got halfway through and stopped. Accept it. You got exactly what you were supposed to get, and you didn't get exactly what you were supposed not to get. And it's all exactly the way that it's meant to be, right? And acknowledge your feeling about that. Just acknowledge it. Don't overindulge either way. Just acknowledge it. Like, hey, this is how I feel about it. Great, got it. Anything else? If there's something else, write that something else down. If there isn't, move on. Right, but really acknowledge whatever's there for you, so that you get to a place where there's really nothing left to say.
Yeah, definitely. We don't really complete powerfully. Relationships, they don't complete powerfully. Friendships don't complete powerfully. Like all these different things, and we walk around. Things ended. We're clear they ended. There's like a defining moment of the end, but we're talking about completing powerfully. And you know, we knew there would be some attrition as we start to kind of complete this book, because that's just natural. When you start out a new workout plan, that's why by February, everybody's New Year's resolutions are out the window, right? Seriously, because that's what happens. You know, that's why this Get Rich Book Club, you know, while we just joke about it. We have fun with it. We are really causing our life with this Get Rich Book Club. We are holding on to our desires of success and being rich very tightly. You know, we're like, nope, this is going this way and we're going that way and that's it. And this is a conversation to help that, right? So really being complete, you guys. And as we wrap up next week, we'll talk a little bit more about completion. But I want to talk about something very important. And this is crossing the terror threshold. This is critical, you guys. What do I mean? Oh my God, the terror threshold. Dun, dun, dun. Ah! This is when you get too close to your success for your own comfort. You're too close for your own comfort. It's like, I'm just there. I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to close that real estate deal, or I'm about to like get that relationship to the next level, or I'm whatever, like, right? Like you're finally, it's like your dreams or your desires are coming real and they're like right there, and then there's the terror threshold, dun, 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 or whatever it is. What is it, James? How do you do it?
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that's it. then our subconscious minds gathers all the king's horses and all the king's men to make sure we run away. Okay? That's your terror threshold. It's like, it really is like terror. It's like, oh my God. You know, and James and I, we've had some major successes, I think, in the last 13 weeks. Like we were talking about, these 13 weeks seems like a whole year. Like what we've caused in our lives has been almost like a whole year, like shrunk down to 13 weeks inside of this book. I mean, it's been phenomenal. But both of us have had our terror thresholds reached, right? It's like, oh, we're too close to success, and we either sabotage it, right? Because our little prince, like, and our subconscious minds takes over because they bring out their big guns at that time, okay? Just to make sure we run away and crawl under bed or like give up and like, I'm not dating anymore. I'm not whatever anymore, okay? Like they come out with the big guns, right? So can you, this is the question you want to ask yourself, can you keep the faith much longer than other people? So when James doesn't have faith about something, like, right, like let's say James is about relationships and he doesn't have faith, can I keep the faith for him? This is what a community does. Can I keep the faith up for him when he doesn't have any? Can he keep the faith up for me when I don't have any about my health? Can we hold each other accountable? Like, can you have faith about your own dreams and desires longer than anybody else has around you, right? And then when you have a community, it's holding each other's faith for our own visions, you know, present. I kind of threw that there in the last minute because it just was so apparent that, you know, our subconscious minds will do whatever it needs to do to make sure you run away from that success or sabotage it, okay? And you want to start attracting people who are at the same frequency you are at now, which is why I appreciate James, right? Because you need that new frequency to realize your desires and wealth. After going through this book club, chances are you are at a new level of your frequency. So you want to keep maintaining your new frequency. And I want to tell you, sometimes even family vibes out. You know, I had a client who did one session with me, and her brother stopped talking to her, and like he made her nieces like unfriend her, like all these things, and I was like, oh my God, I felt so bad. But I was like, actually, I told you in the beginning of my sessions, when you do this, when you change your frequency and you're a demand and you're a stand for your success, you then start to, people kind of get wacky about it. They cannot be with it because they now have to either change their perception of you, like what James was saying, or they have to change themselves, right? So keep maintaining your new frequency. Keep surrounding yourself by people like James and I are creating here, a community who can listen and keep the faith, maintain it over time, and maintain the new frequency. So what are some successful habits, James?
Well, yeah, that's I don't know what's wrong with my mouth all of a sudden.
You have too much energy flowing.
I do. I've just been like on all day. It's amazing. Anyway, yeah, developing successful habits is critical to success. That's why I call them successful habits. Anyway, so some successful habits, take risks. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? Yeah. You got to also, people who develop successful people tend to stick to.
Woo! Take a breath, James. This is the subconscious mind at work. We're trying, we're about to have a successful Get Rich Book Club completion next week, and our brain, is getting a little tongue-tied, right? It does what it does. So successful people, what, James?
They take risks. They also stick to their decisions. Okay, so I want to just take a quick aside on that, right? Sometimes it's not good to stick to your decision. We had a few presidents ago that liked to really stick to his decision no matter what, and it was very unpopular. And it may or may not have been a good idea. Context changes, right? And sometimes sticking to your decision is the right thing to do. Sometimes it isn't. You got to know when is the right time to stick to your guns and when isn't. Okay, so that's critical. But that's in there as a successful habit that people have. Successful people tend to set good boundaries, right? Like Erlinda just shared with her client and her family members, right? That family member vibed out. In relationships, if you're in a relationship and you feel like there isn't a healthy balance of where you end and the other person begins, or vice versa, take some time and set that boundary. Have that in place, whether it's with your children, whether it's with your employer. That's a good one, right? So I've been pointing a lot. Sorry, you guys. I'm in a very authoritative kind of mood. But right, so if it really doesn't work for you and your lifestyle and everything to not check email after like 7 o'clock at night, let them know. Look, guys, if there's an emergency, if you need me, call me. I won't be checking email after 7 o'clock. There's a difference between saying that and saying I don't check email after 7 o'clock. Right? So understand you gotta give some leeway. Anyway, but set those boundaries. Give back. Successful people give back. Like I shared with the money in the car, you've attained a certain level of success. People who are sleeping under a bridge, okay, give back. Work smart. Actually, let me backtrack for just a quick second. What a lot of people don't know about me, and what I tend to not give any attention to, what I don't advertise, you guys, I was homeless. There was a period in my life where I was homeless. I could have very easily been one of those people standing under a bridge with a sign. Okay, that's part of why I feel it's important to say everything that I've said about that today, and part of the reason why I've taken on that practice. So
I don't want to step over. Thank you for sharing that. I know you didn't have to share that with our audience, and thank you for your authenticity in that. Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. I think it just added a little bit of context to the why, right? It added a little bit of so. And it's part of my life.
Yeah.
That was my life. So there it is. Right, so give back. Work smart. Understand when you're spinning your wheels. Have that level of understanding with yourself and that ability to reflect on what you've done and what you're doing in the moment. To work smarter, not harder.
Mm.
Also, go to the spiritual gym, meditate, exercise, right? Whatever your practice is, make sure that you're doing that. If you're in a position to delegate, the stuff that you don't need to do, that other people can do quickly and easily, let them do that quickly and easily, so that it frees you up to concentrate on the things that are most important. Keep learning. If you're not green and growing, you're ripe and rotten. Stay disciplined. That's why I get up at 4:30 to go to the gym every day. Stay disciplined. It matters. Make your bed every day. It matters. Okay? Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Brush your teeth twice a day. Yada, yada, yada. Focus.
Whew.
Focus.
It's funny because, personally, I think we should have tons of people on this call. It's 1 hour out of the week, right? So that we can help you focus on your money mindset, right? And it's funny how people, won't even come on. And it's not like a make wrong, but it's interesting. We like to stay comfortable, right? Instead of being disciplined. 1 hour a week. Focus. We focus your attention on something called your money mindset. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, James. Keep going.
Yeah. And practice patience, whether it's with yourself, whether it's with your family, your significant other, your boss, your employees, your customers, your clients. Practice patience. And this is one of the most important things, especially when we start to address our environment and our, for lack of a better way to put it, our ecology. Surround yourself with other ass kickers. Other people who are badasses, especially badasses at making money. Surround yourself with those people.
Yeah.
And bring yourself up to their level.
Yeah.
If you're going to level up, play on their level.
Yeah.
Don't play to the lowest common denominator. Nobody wins in that game. Yeah. Right? Talk about ideas. Don't talk about other people.
Really quick, I just want to give people an idea. We're going to go over in time just a little bit. So if you need to get off at the hour, that's fine. We're just a little bit behind, but I want to make sure we get all this content in and not feel rushed. So we are going to go over. Feel free to stay on and complete with us this chapter, but I don't want to rush it because it's so important. And what you're talking about right now is extremely important. So many people are talking about people instead of talking about their ideas. I mean, how much time do people waste just talking about other people instead of talking about their ideas and how to actually have those ideas be implemented?
Right. And how much time is wasted talking about, this is going to be really unpopular, but there was a wedding that happened, yesterday? You guys, who cares? People get married every day. Doesn't matter.
He's not making anybody wrong from his perspective. It's like, let's talk about your ideas of how to make money instead of about a wedding that's someone else's wedding. But I get it. I get it.
Right?
That's the one thing I love about James. He's okay to be unpopular.
Don't care. I couldn't care less about it.
I love it.
Really, to be honest, because it's not important to me. It doesn't impact my life. What I was doing yesterday, I was out serving my clients. Just to be honest, okay? But talk about ideas. What are you creating? What are you up to? What can we work on together? How can we achieve this? Right? Talk about that. Don't give any credence to the gossip that you see in the checkout line at the grocery store. Okay. When adversity comes up, and it will, get back up. Don't give up. Get back up. Okay? Everybody gets knocked down. It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It matters how many times you get back up. I used to play football in high school and middle school, and anybody who's played any sports or done anything in their life, right? It doesn't matter how you play or how you practice when you're perfectly healthy. It matters how you practice and how you play when you're injured. Okay? Get back up. Show up on time. Another favorite football saying that I picked up from my coaches, two of them, only the mailman walks, and if you're 5 minutes early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're 5 minutes late. Okay? So show up on time. Know what's going on around you. Be aware of your environment. Be conscious of what's happening in the background. If something's a distraction, eliminate the drama. Move to a different environment, especially if you're having a business meeting, especially if you are preparing to be in a book club that broadcasts live on Facebook. Probably not the best idea to be, connected to the internet at Starbucks. Not to say that it doesn't work, right? Erlinda's done it in airports and it's worked. She's done it in hotel lobbies and it's worked. We've broadcasted from the University of Chicago. It worked, right? And what works better is something else. And so that's what we're doing. If you're really committed to being successful, you guys know what's going on with your money. Not just where it's coming in from, but where it's going out to. Mm-hmm. Right? That flow, you want it to flow So pay attention to where the flow is. And so those are some successful habits. They're all in the book for you. They start on page 252 and they go through page 253 to the middle of 253. So you may want to write them down, put them on your mirror, something like that. Keep them in mind for sure. They're good ones.
I want to also bring up develop a zero tolerance policy for negotiations. Ooh, zero tolerance. This is like really popular, I think, in the mornings sometimes for people. You know, I go through my negotiations like, how quickly can I do the agenda for a book club and still have enough time to throw some lipstick on, right? That's a negotiation, right? Like we have all these negotiations with ourselves, like, you know, do I have to get up at 4:30 a.m. to make it there by 4:40 so that I can, right? Like, can I skim a little bit a minute here, or can I do this? Can I do that, right? Many tiny negotiations add up. So you might think like, oh, just this 1 minute off here, and then all of a sudden you're an hour late and you're like, oh, forget it, I'm not going to the gym, right?
Right.
And so you want to start to identify what the negotiations are that you have with yourself.
Hitting snooze.
Yes. Checking Facebook, right? Oh my gosh, I'm like the queen. It's like, okay, how can I shave off a minute if I don't do this? Like, it's like wild, but you don't look at it. You don't even hear it as negotiations, right? So you want to identify what those negotiations are with yourself and start to replace it with some successful habits, like the ones that James was talking about, right? So some of the negotiations are like checking with Facebook, or taking a sip of a drink when you've declared you don't drink, or eating a piece of candy when you're on a strict diet, right? All those are tiny little negotiations that you do, but they all start to add up. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you start to connect your new habit to another specific habit or behavior.
Yeah, so a perfect example of this is that every time you take a risk, reward yourself. Give yourself a reward, right? If you find yourself to be a shy person, every time you talk to someone new, I don't know, maybe go get some ice cream. After we talked about candies and strict diet.
Or go get some new lipstick or nail polish. It doesn't have to be like food related, but find something that works for you. Like, how can you reward yourself, right?
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Strengthen your willpower, right? Anticipate the discomfort. It will be uncomfortable, you guys. Anticipate that, welcome it, understand that it's part of the process. Get an accountability partner, right? Erlinda is a terrific accountability partner, especially in the Get Rich Book Club. She's on the court, super on the court, right? Find someone like that in your arena, in your circle, and partner up with them. Say, hey, listen, I really want to take this to the next level. Will you be my partner? And do you want the same thing? If they say no, let them say no and move on to the next one. Envision your success over and over and over again. Feel it. Understand, like, feel what it's like. You guys, oh my God, I'm really taking on my physique right now, and I was envisioning what I want my body to look like, and I saw it, and I felt it, and it was uncomfortable. Like, I didn't know how to be with that feeling. It felt so good. Yeah, you want to feel it, because when you feel it, right, it adjusts your vibration, it adjusts your frequency, and you're going to align yourself more with your desired outcome. So envision it, feel it. That's important. I had that conversation, and I had a lot of great conversations. I have so many good conversations every day. Oh my goodness.
Well, you're living, you're doing this work. It's a part of your dialogue now, right? Like,
yeah.
That's the thing, is there's so many levels to this Get Rich Book Club. It's amazing. It's like you're now starting to bring it out into your other conversations with other human beings. It's amazing.
The biggest thing, you guys, when you find yourself off course, get back on course. Course correct. Course correct, course correct, course correct. You will make mistakes. It's part of the process. Understand that. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't self-flagellate. Don't, cat o' nine tails over the back and, 50 Hail Marys and whatever. Okay, that happened. I got it. Now I need to get back on track. All right. You miss a day at the gym. You eat a pint of ice cream in one sitting or a bag of Oreos in 15 minutes. I got it. The next 15 minutes is your opportunity not to eat that bag of Oreos. I'm speaking from self-experience, okay? Just.
I was like, I've eaten Oreos, but not that quickly. I don't think he's talking to me.
Talking to this guy.
Well, but course correct, because he could stay in that state. But This is talking about not only envisioning your success over and over again, but no, you're going to have to course correct. Yep. Just it's a part of the game.
For people who are in the financial markets, you have to trade the market you have, not the market you want. Mm. Specifically in real estate, right? The market shifts quickly, all right? And you have to be willing to adjust your course and course correct. Otherwise, you're going to be priced out. You're going to be taken out, right? When the market winds shift, adjust your sails. The biggest misconception, you guys, about being successful is that it's not survival of the fittest out there. That is not the law of the jungle. Okay? It's not the fittest. It's the person it's the person who can adapt the best. Make yourself adaptable quickly and easily. If you can't adapt, you're out of here. Someone's always going to be coming along to ride your coattails or knock you off your pedestal, whatever. Adapt, adjust, and get back on course. Continue to reinvent yourself too. Okay?
So huge.
Yeah, it really is. This is one of the biggest things. If you don't have someone on your team that's critical after you've been successful, or after you haven't been successful, but more importantly, after you've been successful, if you don't have someone on your team that's looking for a way to refine your process or your offer or your service to make it even better, find someone like that. Because if you're not going to reinvent yourself at every opportunity, someone else is going to reinvent themselves to take your place and knock you out of the market. It's true. It happens all the time. It's called free market economics.
Totally.
Even in life, even in dating.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So continue to reinvent yourself in order to remain relevant and to prevent becoming obsolete. You know what becomes obsolete really quickly? Cell phones. Cell phones. They're constantly reinventing.
Yeah.
That's why.
And, you finally think like, oh my gosh, we created this Get Rich Book Club, but we are always looking for ways to refine it, but we have our system in place. Like, I am the person who likes to create the big vision, right? Clearly, that's what I like. So James takes on more. Okay. So now as we're wrapping up, we're probably going to ask you guys, hey, send us a survey. What'd you like? What you didn't like? I hope somebody's capturing this idea that's coming out of my mouth right now, because I'm not, right? But we have a team of people who can support us in reinventing this so that it becomes better and more impactful for people, having this conversation and being guided by like a mentor on the weekly for 1 hour in our little mindset gym or spirituality gym. Like, this is so big. It has done so much transformation in so many people's lives who aren't even, they're shy about sharing too. They're not even like, oh my God, why? Because we're not trained to survive. To share that much. Like, we're trained to be like, oh, woe is me. I did whatever. We're trained to share all the bad. We're not trained to share all the good. And we're breaking up that conversation, you guys. So with that, I want to just close us out for this week. And thanks for going over with us. But really, you guys, just profound gratitude for being in this mindset gym, in the spiritual gym with us this week. It really, when we don't do it each week, like when we had a week off, it really impacts, because like we're living in this conversation called tenacity, right? And we're living in it for 2 weeks, and that means our whole life is like being pulled and upside down by it, right? This is for James and I, and you guys too, because if you're in this book club, you're dealing with that, right? So I don't know how many people probably had the covers over their head this week or last week, right? But thank you for having the courage to show up here, to be in this conversation with us, for sharing, you know, for being there listening to us and our authenticity. You know, it's sometimes not easy to know that, you know, maybe 4,000 people are going to watch this video and to share as authentically as we do, but we do it, and we do it each week. And the only way we do this is because we know that you guys are there and that it makes a difference for you and that you're listening. So profound gratitude for you guys being here in this gym with us. I want to also to remind you with one thing. It's not your job to know the how. Leave the how to the universal intelligence. Surrender is a vital part of tenacity. Determined action plus availability for the new untaken path is where you desire to go. So you guys, with that, I just leave you with the profound gratitude that we have. Thank you for taking this on with us. Thanks for letting us really cause this book. And we have one more chapter, and we'll talk a little bit more about completion next week, but really, really, really profound gratitude. And we hope that you're enjoying the Get Rich Book Club, which is all about aligning your energy with what you are creating for your own income, wealth, and abundance. And thanks for being our partners in this endeavor. And we look forward to much, much more results. Yes, James.
Real quick, I want to leave everybody with the money mantra from chapter 12 because it's awesome.
Yay, do it!
All right, here it is. This week's money mantra: I love money and will not give up until I'm surrounded by all the wealth I desire.
Woohoo! I love money, and I will not give up
until I'm surrounded by all the wealth I desire. All of it.
Yes, all of it. And do not zero tolerance and anything less.
No.
100% of what I want. I'm not going to have it. This is the time to throw your temper tantrum and kick your heels in, right? You guys, really, really, like, this is a conversation. James and I are, like, you know, we're funny and we're good looking, and we're all, I know you guys show up for that this week and all the weeks that you've been with us, but really, we're out to alter our financial well-being and for those around us so that they can continue to give back to the community, help people, contribute to people. This was our objective, was contribution and community, and really that's what we're out here creating. So really, give us the money mantra one more time and then we'll wrap up.
All right. I love money and I will, God, I'd close the book.
You were so emphatic. Let's do it again.
I was. All right. I love money and will not give up until I'm surrounded by all the wealth I desire.
Great. Yeah.
All
right, you guys.
All of it.
So, all of it. We will see you guys next week. And just remember, it's our last chapter. So everything that will come up to get you to not join us next week will probably come up, okay? It's 1 hour a week. We're not even meeting every day. We're 1 hour a week, you guys, in the mindset gym for your money, okay? And the spirituality and aligning your energy with what you are creating for your own income, wealth, and abundance, you guys. So join us next week for our last chapter. And then we're going to take a little break after book club, and we're going to be launching our second book. And all these new things are happening around book club, so we're excited about that. So we look forward to sharing all of that next week with you, and talk to you soon. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye, guys.